Hi, Jillian Pensavalli.
Hi, Patrick Hines.
Okay, tell the fam what's going on.
So if you are watching this on YouTube,
Yes.
the first few minutes are going to be audio only because we had a little technological hiccup. So the rest of it
is here
now, ready to go. But so you'll just hear the audio for the first few minutes.
Yeah.
No video, unfortunately, if this is what you are into.
Yeah.
This probably won't be on the full episode in the audio feed.
No. This is just for the YouTube fam. We promised to try to never let that happen again.
Yeah, but we caught it early.
Yeah, ish.
And we are now currently recording. And so the rest of it will be like what you came to YouTube for.
Are you ready to be so proud of me?
What?
I have officially, after 9 years, transitioned to taking my notes in Google Docs.
Oh, thank God.
How many times? Because I've been doing it in Word for 9 years. It'd be like days I forget my notes to email them to myself. I've been working at them from home.
And it's not like I've been pressing you to do it because I'm annoying.
No.
But when you're like, oh no, I lost my notes. And I'm like, well, why aren't you doing it in a way that autosaves? I don't understand.
I did it today. I feel good about the transition.
What happened?
I just was like, I was sick of working with Word. I needed to do something web. I'm like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I know.
You people don't know, our dear listeners, you have no idea the struggle.
It's been 9 years of hell.
It's been hard, but we're here now.
Hi, Jillian Pensavalli.
Hello, Patrick Hines.
Fam, I am out on tour. My tour is almost done. Can you believe it?
No.
It's been 100 years. So the big shows, I've got about 15 shows left, but the big ones I got coming up, June 26th in New York City. It's for Pride Weekend, my hometown show. We're almost sold out, but I would love for you to be there. It's at the Green Room 42. On July 25th, I'm going to be in Provincetown, Massachusetts. It's so
Come
gay.
On, P-Town.
Come on, P-Town. Come on, other hometown fam. I've never played Provincetown before. I'm so excited. There's a bunch of shows in between, and then my final show is August 30th in London. I'm going to get really drunk that night because it's going to be my last show. Steve's not going to be there. It's going to be me and Natalie. It's going to be a party.
Party time.
All the information and tickets, patricktours.com. Please come and see me. I'm having such a good time.
We're also on YouTube.
Yes.
Yay.
Oh, the YouTube channel is insane. We have over, I think, like 13 or 14,000 subscribers at this point. It's going so well.
Everybody.
It looks really good. We pimped out our studio. I think we look good. I think we're having fun.
I think so too.
It's great.
If people are into it. Hooray.
We're True Crime Obsessed Podcast on YouTube, or just go to the show notes here and click on the YouTube link.
Perfect.
Now I have to find my notes. Hang on a second. I found them. All right, girl, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about Worst Roommate Ever.
And she is.
Season 2, Episode 3, Burning Down the House. I hate when they try to get cute with the titles, because now I have the talking heads in my head, which is fine.
I know. I hate that song,
But I think it's definitely not their best.
No.
But I also think it's like, then it takes away from the severity of the story, because I'm like,
and
the talking heads.
I hate this woman so much.
Hey, kiddo.
What are you doing?
Just got done eating. What are you up to?
Just hanging out on the couch. My whole life, my mom was more of a roommate than anything.
How's the babies?
They're thinking he's probably about 5-6 pounds right now.
Oh, you getting nervous?
I was born ready. On the phone, she sounds like a sweet lady.
You know, I'm used to having 12 to 9-pound babies, 10-pound babies, so hopefully you all's first one won't be the same.
Don't let the voice fool you, because she will hurt you.
All right, I love you, and you guys be safe, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bo's the one that taught me, like, keep your friends close, your enemies closer. That's one of the things I do with my mom.
So we open with a guy named James Bo Bowden. Now, you and I texted about this. We're going to call him Bo because Christian, the character, Christian calls him Bo. Other people call him James. We're just going to call him Bo.
Yeah, and there are times where I'm like, they mean James. They mean
right.
Bo. But it starts with Christian sitting on the couch on the phone with his mother.
Oh, yeah.
And he's telling us, my mom always felt like more than a roommate than a mother. On the phone, she sounds super sweet.
Yeah.
Don't let the voice fool you. And I'm like, then Christian, why are you talking to her?
I know.
And he says, she taught me to keep my friends close and my enemies closer. And that's what I do with my mom.
Yes.
And it
Can I tell you, the people who teach that lesson are the ones who need it taught about them.
Well,
that is like the God's honest truth.
I was going to say, like, I don't really, like, that's not for me, keeping my enemies close.
Nope.
It sounds exhausting. Keep my enemies out of sight, out of mind, out of everything else. That's how I feel about my enemies.
Yeah.
So James Bo Bowden, he's such an interesting guy.
Yeah, I love this guy. I think that he's like amazing, full of integrity. He's amazing. He's going to tell us that he's the kind of guy that like he's good at what he's good at. Life hasn't been particularly easy for him, but he joined the military in 1997. Joining the military seemed like the thing that made the most sense for him to do with his life.
Yeah.
And it's a good decision.
Immediately, I'm like, Bo, can you be nicer to yourself?
I know.
He's like, I fumbled my way through this life. Anything I succeeded at, it was because I did it on a whole idiot savant level. I'm like, Bo, be nice.
No, he's great. So he meets Rich Fritz in the military. He says,
when I met Rich Fritz, he and I were real tight. I was his soldier. I was assigned to him as part of his squad. The man that Richard was for me, his leadership skills, yeah, they were still something that I hold on to.
Basically, this guy, Rich, was like his mentor.
Yeah, and Bo really, really looked up to Rich. It's very like chosen family.
Yes.
We're in here. And he says he still used what he learned from Rich's leadership skills.
Yeah, and Rich's mom, Joyce, is here.
Love Joyce.
She's amazing. She said, Rich would have given his life for his men. She says, now, I know we don't love this, but she says he was probably one of my best friends. I was like, I don't know.
Joyce is cool.
We're going to give Joyce a pass on this.
Yeah.
But she says he was alive at the party, would do anything to make you laugh.
Rich's whole vibe was, yes, the military is a job, but we all have families we want to get home to.
Yes.
So let's do our job safely and get home to our loved ones.
Exactly.
That was his whole thing. So he loved his chosen family, but he knows that like we all want to get home safely, so let's do that.
Yep, and they take care of each other. So Christian is back. Christian is Rich's son, right?
Which means the mother he called his enemy was Rich's wife.
Exactly.
Holy shit.
And so he says, my father, Rich, was loving but firm. And he says, I mostly remember his last days in the military doing crunches in the living room. We're going to learn Rich died very young on Father's Day weekend when Christian was very young.
So it's April, May 2001. Rich gets out of active duty. And Bo is like, look, he was fat and happy.
He had a big beer
that, like, as the biggest compliment in the world.
Totally.
Like, he was living life. He was off duty for real
Yes.
in every sense of the term.
Yeah, he was doing so well. He had just gotten out of the military. And he said, so it was a shock when he died on Father's Day weekend.
I was like, oh my God, that sentence just keeps getting worse and
I
worse.
know.
This is horrifying.
And Joyce, Rich's mom, said he hadn't been feeling well for 2 days. He went to the doctor. They diagnosed it as strep. And then on the third day in the morning, he was found dead in his bed.
He was given, antibiotics for strep, and he was going to go on this trip, but leading up to the trip, he wasn't feeling great. And then suddenly on day 3, where everyone thinks he's just like nursing strep before he goes on this trip with his friend, he's 28 years old and he's found dead.
Yeah, and like Bo says, Rich's death was devastating to him. And it was one of the reasons, it was one of the things that prompted him to sort of get out of the military.
He leaves the military over it.
I know. And so Tammy, Rich's now widow, reaches out to Bo and was like, hey,
I've got an extra room, you can stay with us. She's offered me a place to stay, rent-free. I would say that I was both surprised and relieved. That was just that whole dumb luck thing.
he knew Tammy, but he knew Tammy as like his friend's wife. But he takes her up on it. Like he needs a place to stay. He doesn't really have much money, and he goes.
And he says, you know, like it's right before Christmas. It's December 23rd, 2003. And he's like, this is Rich. This is what Rich would have done. Like,
yes.
We're looking out for our own. Bo needed help. Bo and Rich were very close. Tammy stepped up for Bo. Like, this is what Bo is thinking.
Yeah, and he's like, let me go and help this family that just lost this great guy. Like, we're, like you said, we're military, we're family.
Like, fine, great.
Yeah.
So Bo is the second person to say that Tammy felt more like a big sister. Like that Tammy didn't feel like who and what she was, which is Christian's mom
Yes.
or Rich's wife.
Yeah.
She was either a friend or a roommate or like the drunk big sister.
Yeah, and to be very clear, there was nothing romantic between Tammy and Bo at all.
So she was like the drunk big sister, but yet Tammy was in charge of all of Bo's important documents.
No.
And I'm like, oh God, no.
A big red flag. If you move in with somebody and your new roommate is like, hey, roomie, do you have like a social security card and like a birth certificate you want me to put in my locked safe for you?
Tammy has control. Bo says his birth certificate, his social security card, all that stuff. And I'm like, no. And Bo is in a bad place. Like
I know.
And I can see how innocently enough she's like, well, your family, you're moving in. This is where we keep all of those things.
I guess,
or something.
Do you and Mike have a thing like that? Like a safe where you keep all your important documents?
I don't have a safe, but everything is in like one envelope and I know where it is.
Uh-huh. Not me.
But no, I don't have a safe deposit box.
The look
I
on
probably
your
should.
face.
I probably shouldn't be talking about how I don't have a safe deposit box.
Well, we were going to have a safe put in our apartment, and we just never did.
Yeah.
I guess we should at some point.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably should. I also don't have a will. I don't have anything.
Oh, that's the one thing I have that you don't have. I'll take that.
Well, you have a kid though.
That's true. We did have to go, that was when we were like, we need to do this for
you know?
real. Yeah.
But there's a lot of things.
You don't have a will?
No.
I'm surprised. Well, can I tell them what you told me yesterday?
What?
You just updated your phone for the first time since 2020. It's the most unlike you thing. You're the most on top of it, tech savvy person, literally,
Yeah.
I know. And you're like, I just updated my phone for the first time.
I was like, what is that circle thing? Is that the MagSafe stuff that everyone's talking about? Because I tried to get a case and it was
I
only
know.
a MagSafe case,
Fam,
but I don't have a MagSafe case
Her
anymore.
phone stopped letting her use it. Her phone was like, you may only call 911.
It was giving me the SOS alert. So I'd be in the middle of a conversation and then I would try to go online. I was telling you all this yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I have my iMessage connected to my computer and then it would just be it would kick me out of iMessage and basically tell me that I don't exist anymore.
What kept you from updating it? It's just
it worked.
annoying to do. Yeah. No,
worked.
I'm with you.
I have a working phone. Who cares?
I couldn't agree more. But eventually something will stop working, and I'm like, if I just update it, it'll be better.
And it got to the point where, and I was like, oh, we can just get the upgrade. We're eligible for the upgrade because we've had the same phone since 2020. And so I just did it that way. But yeah, I wasn't going to pay for a fucking new iPhone.
I know. But everybody else does.
But when you're upgrading,
oh no,
you
that's
get
true.
the upgrade.
But you probably, anyway, we could talk about that. I could talk about this
doesn't
forever.
matter. But
It
I was
doesn't
like, what is MagSafe? I just learned about MagSafe.
But the point is that Bo is just trusting Tammy and is like, sure, thanks for storing my important documents.
Because he loved Rich and he figured this,
We are also going to, in this episode, we're going to get to the bottom of an enduring mystery. I was so happy to find out how you can get a life insurance policy on somebody without them having to sign the paperwork. We're going to get the answer to that in this episode.
It's annoying.
It's wild and should be illegal.
It should be. So Tammy's house became the big hangout spot.
We played Mortal Kombat or watched big old movie marathons or whatever. And that was the thing. You stayed in the barracks Monday through Thursday night, but Friday night, everybody went over to Tammy's. She made sure, well, hell, if I'm having a party, what's the point of having fun if you can't have your friends have fun with you?
Tammy, of course, was always involved.
Yeah, I was trying to decide if I thought that would be fun or not. If I was if I'm Christian, I'm the little, 7-year-old, and my mom's new roommate has the guys over all the time. I don't know if I would enjoy that.
But you would think, based on what Bo is describing about Rich, that Tammy should have been friends with these people because Rich was friends with them.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe, not saying you always have to be, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my sister was in the military for 19 years. I can attest that every person I've met in the military that my sister knew was awesome. And they would do this. They would come over, they'd have parties, and I understand this world. I just wonder if I would have liked it.
Yeah, I mean, look, so Mike is here, Mike Anderson, who's Bo's army friend and
I
another
like
BFF.
Mike. I wish that I wish we got more of him. He seems like I want to know what he does for fun.
Yeah.
He seems like a very interesting guy.
They play a lot of video games, which is super cool.
But I feel like he bakes sourdough. You know what I mean? He's got one of the, he strikes me as somebody who's got one of those quirky hobbies that you're oh, you make beer? Okay.
But I feel after the pandemic, everyone was making sourdough.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
I didn't make it, but I watched people make it from afar.
I feel maybe Mike makes teas.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He dries flowers and makes teas or something.
Yeah. I said earlier that playing video games is super cool. I meant that.
I believe
it sounded, I heard it echoing in my head. I was like, did that sound sarcastic?
No.
We've been through this.
We talk about
Everyone
video games all the time on this podcast. I don't know anything about it.
It's okay.
Yeah, I don't need to know.
No, if you don't want to know.
It's not for me.
So Mike is yes, Tammy helped out Bo. Bo also helped out Tammy the way he would for Rich, right?
Yes.
Especially when it comes to Christian, who's Rich's son.
Now, another thing I thought was interesting is that Bo and Christian see their relationship as a big brother, little brother. Not a father figure, but a big brother, little brother thing.
And I got to tell you, Bo really showed up for Christian.
This is so awesome the way Christian describes
and
this.
And it really means a lot to a kid in that situation. The people who show up are very important and they remember them forever. Mike had that when he lost his dad when he was 8, 9 years old. The people who showed up for him, his uncle Chris.
Yeah.
That,
I was just dealing with this in therapy. We had none of those people.
Right.
Nobody showed up for us. And we would look around at my mom. We were so poor, in Section 8 housing, the whole deal. We would go on weekends to my mom's great uncle's fancy cabin in Vermont, and he was like a doctor. And I'm like, why aren't you helping us?
Yeah.
Like, why aren't we leaving here with like a little bit of your cash, you know?
So when someone shows up and like takes you bowling, like Mike had, you know, like so Christian and Bo.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Uncle Chris
God
was
bless
amazing.
those people.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Because Christian says like Bo would take me everywhere.
Bo was probably the first person I ever saw, you know, with the PlayStation 2 and taught me what some video games were. And he didn't put himself first. He put me in his plans a lot. He was the closest thing I felt like I had to my dad.
He was the closest thing I felt that I had to my dad.
Yeah, that's amazing and so needed, right?
Yeah.
So Tammy's working for the Colorado Springs Sheriff's Office. She's an emergency dispatcher. She would work nights, sleep all day. She was gone a lot. And so she let Rich's army buddies look after her son, Christian.
Which is a more hands-off approach to parenting than I would feel comfortable with.
She's very lucky Bo's such a good guy.
1,000,000%.
And Mike is such a good guy, and all of these army friends are good people.
And like Christian says, like it felt good to him. Like it was easy and not like this could be an awesome situation for everyone because Bo gets to live there rent-free.
Right.
And he's paying his rent by caring for the kid, you know? And it could have been awesome, Tammy. You didn't have to go and ruin everything, you stupid, horrible person.
I mean, she's a horrible person. But here's what's happening, too. Bo was also working nights. He was a doorman. So he would get home at 7 a.m., not go to sleep, get Christian, at the time, a little boy, ready for the day, get him dressed, get him to go to school. And he was like, yeah, I was his big brother babysitter. So just to, like, be clear, Bo and Tammy both worked nights. Then they'd both come home. Tammy would go to sleep, and Bo would take care of her kid.
Which also means that her young child was home alone by himself overnight all the time. I cannot think of anything more terrifying as a kid.
Yeah,
because we're talking like, I think that Christian was like 8 or 9, maybe 10.
Little.
Like, I mean, younger than Daisy is now. Yeah. And there's no world in which Daisy would be home by herself overnight.
Yeah. So because Bo and Tammy were not together, like everyone makes that very clear. There's no there, however they say it. Separate rooms, separate lives. Tammy was dating this guy, Steve, and she'd go out to hang out with him every single weekend, and she would leave Christian at home. Tammy, you suck.
And Christian says, like, she would go be with him every weekend, and if I wasn't wanted there, like, sometimes he would go, and sometimes Tammy would be like, it's just gonna be us this weekend, kiddo.
Or like on holidays.
She would call me on Thanksgiving and Christmas and say, I've got a party to go to. Can you watch Christian? Or my boyfriend and I want to go someplace and Christian can't come. You put your boyfriends and friends over your children?
My boyfriend wants to take me somewhere and Christian isn't allowed to come, so...
And, like, this is where Joyce, Rich's mom, and Christian's grandmother is like, if I was, like, he would just call me sometimes because he'd be home alone in the middle of the night and he'd be terrified and I would just have to sit on the phone with him. And I can't imagine, if you're Joyce, the frustration of, like, I mean, no one ever calls the authorities here. Like, Christian is a perfect candidate for foster care or, like, at least to go and live with his grandmother. Like, this is so unsafe and he's just slipping through the cracks.
And she's just always picking partying or men over her kid.
I mean, it's horrible.
August 2004, they've been roommates for 20 months.
Yeah.
Tammy gets dumped. She wants to get hammered. And Bo is like, okay, fine, let's do this.
Yeah. And so they're drinking this thing called a Tuaca bomb.
I've never heard of this.
What is Tuaca?
Tuaca is an Italian brandy.
Okay.
That I looked up today. And it's a liqueur. It says Tuaca is a sweet golden brown blend of brandy, citrus and orange essences, vanilla, and other spices added. It's like an after-dinner drink.
That sounds delicious.
Sometimes it's in cocktails. But it's weird because it's kind of like a Jaeger bomb, but Bo describes it in reverse.
Right, because you would like fill the glass with Tuaca and then drop a shot of Red Bull into it.
Right.
Like, oh my God.
And Jaeger,
you
would drop the shot of Jaeger in a glass of Red Bull.
Is that what that is?
And then you chug it.
Oh, God.
I believe, right?
Well, Tammy is just getting Bo hammered. He's not even looking at the drinks. She's just bringing him over.
And it's not like they'd be drinking vodka sodas and every once in a while do a Tuaca bomb. They're doing Tuaca bombs and only Tuaca bombs, which is a very, like, that'll get you fucked up.
Yeah, well, he goes, I got completely plowed. Not just like regular drunk. And like the next day, he says he woke up feeling like there was just something just horrendously wrong with him.
Trying to go from my bedroom to the bathroom, take a shower. I had to crawl to the bathroom. I couldn't hardly walk.
He can't walk.
Right.
He's crawling into the bathroom and passes out. So this is how Christian, and like, can we please stop doing this to children? Where
I
they
know.
like walk in on some horrifyingly, someone like inebriated like this. And it's not, we will learn this is not Beau's fault. He was drugged.
No, he was yes. This is the beginning of Tammy trying to kill. I kept thinking about that lady from the other episode where you're like, this bitch won't die.
Yeah.
She spends the next like 5 years trying to kill Beau, and Beau just won't die.
Yeah, he can't die, which is amazing.
It's incredible.
So the next day, Beau cannot get up off the floor. And
Yeah.
Christian finds him
butt-ass naked.
like this on the floor,
Yes.
which is like a terrifying thing for a little boy to see.
Totally.
A little kid to see.
They rush Beau to the hospital. The doctors give him a spinal tap. We get this like creepy spinal tap reenactment, which I didn't need to see.
I thought this sounded insane and excessive.
Yes.
So I asked our
What
Discord
happened to
friends.
just like a blood alcohol test?
So my TCO Discord friends told me the following. Certain drugs can pop up on a spinal tap that may not show up in a blood or urine test.
Oh my God.
So either they thought he was fucked up, bunch of use, or was having a serious medical issue from how he was presenting. So like it is excessive, but that's how bad he was when he showed up to the emergency room. That
Yeah.
they were like, this is not like a blood test. This isn't just booze. Like something bad
Right,
happened.
yeah. Well, the spinal tap comes back inconclusive. So they did that for nothing.
It's like, okay, well, Tammy made Beau drink all these drinks and now he's in the hospital. 1 + 1 = 2.
Exactly.
Come on now.
But then it's like, nobody's ever going to think that their friend is like drugging them or whatever.
But when you think about what happened to Rich, her husband,
right.
and Christian's dad, like
Yes.
he got sick really, really quickly.
Uh-huh.
So what happened there?
Right. And like, why was she able to do it? Like, why was she able to kill Rich and not Beau?
Right.
You know what I mean?
So-
and it seems like she got Rich on the first try.
Or maybe she
Or
didn't.
maybe not.
Because
yeah.
we learned that they did not have a good relationship.
Uh-huh.
And so God knows. Let's go back to Rich's story,
Okay,
actually.
yeah.
It's June 2001. This is when Rich got sick. And 3 days they thought he had strep throat and then he died. So it came on really, really fast.
And Joyce, his mother, says that when Rich got sick, he and Tammy had been together for 7 years. And Rich had grown up all of his life wanting all the traditional stuff, the wife, the kids, the white picket fence. She said that was his dream. And when Rich and Tammy first got married, like they hadn't known each other that long. And Joyce doesn't understand why Rich felt the need to go so fast.
He proposed to her without introducing her to his family,
Yeah.
which we hear from like Rich's family that's weird. Like he would have brought her around and we all would have gotten to know her.
My question was like, was she already pregnant or was she really pressuring him
I think
to
she's just super manipulative.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure she had some invisible ticking clock of like why we need to get married right now.
Uh-huh.
Like, don't you love me? Marry me now. So
Is that what I said to Steve?
is it? Sounds familiar. Joyce, Rich's mother, finally meets Tammy on Thanksgiving, and Joyce immediately was like, I don't like her.
Because some of her questions were leading to what we had, what we didn't have. And it just seemed like she was just looking for materialistic things and not love for my son.
Can you imagine if, like, the first time he brought Mike around, he's like, Till, what year's that car?
He's never asked anything remotely.
What's my dowry over here?
Like-
How many cows do I get?
What? Like assets?
How many acres is this property? No reason. Just
No
wondering.
reason.
Yeah.
Just, do you have anything?
Anything?
Like, any other property?
What exactly is going to be coming to us?
Like, can you imagine?
I know.
So Joyce confirms Tammy was all about the material things and Rich wanted to give her everything she wanted. So he says, like, to his mother, Rich says, like, she's never going to be happy.
It's never enough.
I give her everything she wants and she's still miserable. So they started talking about getting a divorce.
Now, Rich says to his mom, after a while of, I'm sure, like him trying to work it out, doing
Yes.
everything he could, he finally says to his mom, you know what, fuck this. The house is in my name. The car is in my name. The boat is in my
So
name.
they had a lot of things at
Yeah.
Tammy's pushing.
Uh-huh.
And now Rich is like, okay, well, fuck that. They're all in my name anyway. So I tried to give it to her. She didn't want it. She's not happy. I'm
Look,
leaving
if
on my
it's-
boat.
If it's not a party barge, I want nothing to do.
I mean, what is it? Boats are literally throwing money into the water. Like,
Totally.
people just say there's such money pits.
Somebody was saying, there was like a TikTok going around about being like the strongest argument for having Republican friends is so you can go on their boat. Because everybody.
And then you don't have to take care of it.
Totally. It's like my sister and her husband had a boat. And I will say, the one time a year that we went down there, it was pretty awesome to go
Yeah.
on a boat.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like rivers are like streets, but they're made of water.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
That's
mean?
right. Put that on a pillow.
Rivers are like streets, but they're made of water.
Yeah.
And
That's a fact.
it's kind of fun to be on a boat. But like I only needed it once a year. Now,
For like a few.
party barge is a whole different
That's a
story.
totally different thing.
The resignation in her eyes.
So Rich got to the point where he's like, hey, everything's in my name. She can take a walk. And she's not taking my kids from me. Like, Bye, Felicia.
You always have the best way of putting it. She
Like,
could take a walk.
She could take a fucking walk.
She could take a fucking walk.
I tried to buy her everything. I did
know.
buy her everything. She doesn't want it. Guess
Even a
what?
boat.
It's in my name,
Yeah.
and I'm taking my kid. Like, fuck you.
And my boat.
And my boat.
Yeah, I'm taking my kid in my party barge and I'm fucking out of
Like,
here.
bye.
I know.
2 weeks later, he wasn't feeling good. He had a sore throat, he had a cough, and then he went to the doctors and it was diagnosed as strep throat.
Rich was suddenly very sick, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all.
But nobody ever does the math. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, no one's ever gonna like put. No, it was like the thing with that like murderous American family or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
no one ever thinks their spouse is actually. The sane one never thinks the spouse is gonna kill
And the
them.
doctor was like, oh, he has strep. I'll take these antibiotics and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Call me in the morning.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
like, it wasn't like the doctor was saying, it was giving him a spinal tap like Bo.
How did the doctor misdiagnose like cyanide poisoning for strep?
I think because, like, what is it, the Occam's razor thing? It's
I
like, oh,
guess.
you have a red throat, probably strep, like do a throat culture or whatever they do.
One quick test on that before we get you out of here. You know
Like-
what I mean? Let's do one quick test.
Oh my God, remember when what do they do now for kids? Remember like when you would go like the throat culture and they would just like shove the Q-tip down your mouth? Like there's gotta be a better way.
Do they not do that anymore?
I don't, not the one with kids.
I thought you were
When
like,
was
I'm
the
not the one with a
last
medical
time-
license.
No, like
I have no idea. I have no
they
idea.
would put it in like that Petri dish and like
Yeah.
send it off and then
Surprise to
either
nobody.
either you could stay home from school for a couple days or not.
I was just going to say, surprise to nobody, Steve is the one that takes Daisy to most of her medical
Okay,
appointments. You know what I mean?
Well, someone report back. Do they still
Let us
shove a
know.
Q-tip down your throat?
But it was like that. It was like that.
Tongue depressor.
The wooden popsicle stick
Yeah,
thing.
which like, just give me the ice cream.
Honest to God.
God.
Just give me tuberculosis.
Gross.
You know what I mean?
We'll get to the plague in a minute.
You're absolutely right.
So it's just like, it's so devastating because Christian is here to tell us about all these horrifying things that happened to him when he was a child. One
Yeah.
of them,
I remember giving him a homemade Father's Day card and just telling him I love him and I'd see him tomorrow. And I remember seeing him kind of spitting up some blood into a blue pitcher. He told me when he feels better, we'll go hang out and we'll do things. And then he wasn't there the next day. Then I never saw my dad again.
The dad's like, we'll get together as soon as, what's it, like the Cats in the Cradle. Oh my God.
only like, Rich meant it. Rich is like, I don't want
know.
to give you strep throat
Totally.
because I love you, unlike that crazy woman named Tammy.
Well, and I always think like if there is another place after life, like he's got to sit over there and watch his kid being horribly abused by this, and all he wanted to do was like be a good dad.
And you know, it's interesting because the person behind the camera says, I'm sorry to Joyce, Rich's mother. And she goes, yeah, I'm sorry too. He was a really good guy.
Yeah.
And I kind of love that they kept that moment in because it could have been arguably, I think someone could argue that it's cuttable.
Yeah.
And I love that they kept it in. 'Cause
Totally.
It's very like, that is so real. Like, yeah, I'm sorry too. And
Yeah.
I'm mad
Yeah.
and I miss him and he was great. And like, she's just out there like,
Right.
what the fuck?
Oh, I know. And so Mike, the one who probably makes tea,
Sure.
Mike is the
Mike's
one
like hates tea.
I was-
Somewhere Mike is like,
twirling his beard.
Like, what?
Mike, all I'm saying is you seem interesting.
yeah.
You seem like you've
He
got
seems
cool
very
hobbies.
Nice. Very nice.
But he was saying that like nobody understood how Rich could be dead. He was young and healthy. This is where the news says it was probably just the bubonic plague.
And I was
mean,
like,
you
the
guys, it's
plague
probably
is back? Guess what? Actually, yes.
Is
Because
that right?
these poor Colorado Springs, they had like a cutout from the newspaper. Health officials are conducting more tests to find out if the bubonic plague killed a 28-year-old man who lived near a field where prairie dogs were dying from the disease.
From the plague?
They thought that I guess the poor little prairie dogs got the plague, and they thought Rich caught the plague from the prairie dogs.
Oh my God.
That's what a fucking mystery this was. Also, Tammy never called Joyce, Rich's mother,
Oh,
to tell
yeah.
her what happened, that her son was dead.
Quick side
I
note.
hate this woman.
If the end of days comes and the locusts come like the Bible says, I can't be here for that.
No.
They gotta take me before that. I've gotta be gone before the
Okay.
locusts get here.
Yeah.
Can you be in charge of that?
Of killing you?
Maybe.
No.
Well, what do you put?
Is that what you? That's what you just asked
I think
me.
I did ask you that. Yeah. Or
That's a Steve job.
maybe.
That's a husband. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask me that.
Well, could you find me a bunker? I'd find you a bunker.
I have my own bunker to find. Are we married? This is like all in Steve's purview.
No, you're right. I just can't. I'm just saying. If
Steve is like, don't worry, you'll be long gone before the fucking cicadas come. Before the locusts. Don't worry.
No, I know.
like-
You're absolutely right.
What is phase one?
I don't remember.
What happens before the
I don't
locusts?
remember. The
frogs?
I think that's what we get. The frogs I could do. I like frogs. I think they're cute.
I love frogs too.
If it's raining frogs like that scene in Magnolia,
But
I'd
they're
probably have a
heavy.
hard time
And
with it.
Gemstones?
Yeah.
The locust came in gemstones.
Okay, but see, I cannot be here for that.
No.
It
Didn't look great.
No.
It didn't look.
No.
I didn't like it. Flying bugs. No. The point is, everyone is shocked. Everyone has questions. The news is reporting that it was most likely the plague. Like, all of Rich's friends are like, what happened to this person we love? Like,
I know.
Can we just get to the bottom of it,
Jillian's
please?
Googling bunkers.
Like,
it's just not a good
please.
time.
Now, Tammy, of course. Joyce is so
I know,
great. His
I
mother
know,
is so
yeah.
great because it's like, tell us how you really feel, Joyce. And
Yeah.
she's like, I am.
Yeah.
Tammy, quote, played the role of the grieving wife at the funeral. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that is a very interesting way of putting it, Joyce.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're putting down.
Well,
and picking it
because
up.
also,
I found out that he was going to be taken right after the viewing before the funeral and cremated that afternoon. My son did not want to be cremated. We had lengthy discussions about that. He wanted to be buried.
her husband's body was being cremated.
That day.
This has been in almost every documentary we've done in a row.
And because the issue here is that Rich didn't want to be cremated.
Right.
So he wanted a burial, and that was made very clear in every way.
And Joyce is like, we don't even know what happened to him yet. We need the body. She's like, nope, I am cremating the shit out of him.
Well, because cremating him will make sure that it's always an unknown death.
Exactly.
And that's what she wants.
Yep, exactly.
Because she killed him.
Right.
So a month later, Tammy's cashing in.
Yes.
She sold the house, sold the cars, sold the boat. She's getting the life insurance money. She had two policies. There was a military policy that was $150,000, and then a new one that was set up weeks before he died.
Yes.
For $150,000.
And Joyce says, I just had a mom's gut feeling something is not right. Good call, Joyce. June 30th, 2005, Bo says after he got out of the hospital, he's still living at Tammy's. Like, he goes back to the scene of the crime,
well,
basically.
Tammy's living her best life.
Oh, totally. And, oh, by the way, she loves a ladies' night.
It's Thursday. It's ladies' night. She's out with Bo, buying him drinks.
I gotta tell you, like, a ladies' night does sound fun. Like, why do we have to ruin everything? I would love to go to a ladies' night with you. That'd be so fun.
Right, but ladies' night, like, I don't want the men to descend on ladies' night because they know that we're all going to be there.
Uh-huh. But that's kind of the
Ladies'
point,
night,
I would
men
think,
not
right?
allowed.
Yeah. But, like, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's so gross how bars use women as bait to get men there.
There's this whole thing that's going on TikTok about how these companies, like an ice cream company, like a local business establishment, is using their, like, young, attractive underage workers to just, like, make a TikTok about where I work. And then it's like, oh, wait a second. So these, like, teenage girls who are, like, attractive.
Yeah.
And then now on TikTok.
Of course.
Saying, this is where I am.
Come find me.
Like,
That's
as promotion.
disgusting.
It's really fucking gross.
That's horrible.
Anyway, so they're out. This is after Bo was released from the hospital doing a spinal tap because
After the Tuwaka bombs.
So she's
Tuwaka
getting,
bomb, that's my drag name.
like, she's getting him shit-faced again. After he was just in the hospital, and we're not sure why he was so sick. Like,
Right.
was it just like, oh, I guess you just, like, want too many Tuwaka bombs?
The plague is going around, it seems. You
Like-
know what I mean? And so once again, Bo gets shit-faced drunk. Tammy's ordering all the drinks. They get back to her place. He passes out. He says he wakes up in the middle of the night choking on smoke. The house is on fire. He's got to crawl his way down the stairs out the door where he lays on his back and passes out until the firefighters get there.
And thank God Christian wasn't home. I have to assume that maybe this
on
was
purpose.
by design.
Yeah.
But the story is...
Either Bo left his PlayStation on and overheated, or he knocked over a candle when he was drunk. My mom was maybe upset for all about 30 seconds, it seemed like. Bo's trying to catch my house on fire, but it was never anything more. And then didn't hear anything ever again.
Either way, Bo did it.
Right. And clearly Tammy did. Like, once again, Bo won't die.
Right.
He's the bitch that won't die in this episode.
And weirdly enough, Tammy wasn't that upset because she
Right.
took 2 seconds to accuse Bo of trying to burn down her house. She was pissed for like 30 seconds. Nothing came of it. She didn't kick him out of the house, and they never talked about it again.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, it's really, really fucking crazy.
But Bo realizes, like, he's got to make a change in his life.
He's like dealing with PTSD. This is so real. Everybody I know in the service is dealing with it. He's drinking too much. He's especially drinking too much with Tammy.
He's blacking out every time he's with her.
Yes, he's not making the connection that she's drugging him.
But, like, he is making the connection that, like, living with her in
Is
this
bad.
environment is not helping him at all.
Yeah.
He's really going through a lot. He lost his best friend. Like,
Yeah.
there's just a lot. It's just unhealthy. So February 2006, Bo moves out. Christian is now in the 5th grade.
Yeah.
Christian and Tammy move into a 2-bedroom condo. And once again, Tammy's just leaving her 5th grader alone to just like fend for himself.
I mean, he's saying, like, I had to learn how to cook for myself, how to clean, how to do my own laundry, like, rather than getting to go out and be with the kid. Daisy is that age. She just finished 5th grade. Like, I can't imagine a world. Like, she could technically make herself macaroni and cheese every night for dinner if she absolutely had. Like, I know that, like, kids that age can do it, but the idea, I mean, it's so completely insane that a kid that age would be left alone at all times.
It's mean.
It is abusive.
And you're telling him that he's not worth it or good enough for you because you'd rather be with some guy or at a party.
It's shocking that she didn't take out a bunch of life insurance policies on him and kill him.
I know.
You know?
Thank God.
Like, because you can hear it in the phone call with her.
Oh.
There's a codependency there that will always be. She needs him.
And on top of Christian just like being forced to fend for himself as a 5th grader.
I used to remember exactly what time Bo would get home. That was my safety, knowing Bo got home. And I didn't have that anymore. That was hard for me. I mean, I remember being scared. I go hide in the closet, call my grandma.
And now everything sucks and Bo doesn't come home. So everything
Exactly.
continues to suck.
Yep.
And also on top of that, because she's a fucking evil person, Tammy wasn't letting Christian see Bo.
Exactly.
She was the gatekeeper.
Yes.
So Christian would like get scared and hide in the closet and call his grandmother Joyce.
And he says that, like, when he was with his mom, they would fight all the time. He went from being, like, on the honor roll in 6th grade and, like, loving school and loving learning. He said by 7th grade, he was completely checked out. He didn't want any rules. This kid is totally spiraling. And I'm like,
Of course he is.
Do the teachers not, like, is there nobody in his life who, like, any one adult could have walked into that house and been like, we need to call social services right now. How did this kid slip through the cracks like this? It's
I think this is
crazy.
just an instance of people hearing it after the fact.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Joyce was getting the phone call, so she was doing everything she could, I guess.
It's just so awful.
So it's September 2007. Tammy's no longer working at the sheriff's office. This bitch cannot keep a job for 5 seconds. She's working for Armor Construction. She's their bookkeeper, business manager.
Yeah.
But by 2009, the business was failing. They, quote, had a hard time making payroll. And I was like, which is the office manager's job?
Exactly.
So she can't do anything.
Right. And also, she had gotten Bo a job with the company, like, basically as, like, a mover. Just like he was moving stuff.
So Christian is in 7th grade. It's 2009. And Tammy starts hanging out with these two pieces of shit, Sean and Michelle.
And Christian says Michelle was nice and would play with him a lot because she had kids. Sean was awful. He
Violently abusive.
was a violently abusive brute. Like, he to me is like the stuff of nightmares. He's like the scariest kind of man you can imagine.
It's very scary. And so, like, Sean and Michelle...
Eventually, they moved in, and then they were just there constantly. My mom gave them my room and forced me to move into her room or sleep on the couch. And I hated them for that.
Tammy gives them her son's room.
Like, I just don't. I
hate her.
I just hate her too.
Because, like, so Christian was forced to either, like, share a room with his mother or sleep on the couch. And then these two people who we hear are not good people.
No.
And Sean is violently abusive.
Yes.
Like, how many times is Tammy going to say that Christian isn't worth it to her?
Right.
And it's so wrong.
Yeah.
But she's just always choosing other people over him.
And Tammy and Sean and Michelle are all doing crazy hard drugs in the house around Christian. And Christian is like,
abusive.
I would see my mother and not even recognize her. Like, who is this person? Christian didn't even know he could have gone to a teacher and been like, this is how awful my life is. Like, he didn't even know that he could have asked for help.
And it's scary because, like, Sean is abusive to Christian, threatening him with a gun, threatened to beat Christian to death with a golf club, threatened to slit his throat. So that's terrifying when you've gone through trauma since you're 8 years old when your dad died.
And
it's scary.
He says he would tell his mom about it and she either wouldn't believe him or didn't care.
So, like, she's an abusive piece of shit.
Yes.
Like, he's begging his mother for help. And she's not doing anything to help him. And I was sitting there thinking, like, how could you do this to your child?
And why have a kid? Like, what was the point of all of this?
To keep Rich.
Oh, God.
And then when Rich was like, no, fuck you, I'm taking the boat and my kid and you can't do anything about it, then what happened to Rich? So July 2009, Michael Flynn, he's a former detective, is here. He says he studied Tammy for 5.5 years. And I'm like, oh.
Well, because this guy works in financial crime. And he's saying around this time.
In the summer of 2009, Colorado Springs Police Department was investigating several complaints of identity theft, credit card fraud, and check fraud. Our primary suspect in the investigation is Tammy Fritz.
And their primary suspect in all of these complaints was Tammy Fritz.
She was getting fired from her jobs because she was stealing from them.
Yeah, like she got fired from that construction job, and then they turned her into the police.
So she would like issue bad checks with large amounts and then have her, quote, minions cash them.
Right.
Like Sean and Michelle.
But it's also like, how did you think you were going to get away with that?
I think they just try to do it for as long as they can. And then maybe skip town or something.
Because I think what we're not getting really into here is probably how serious the addiction was. Like, I think all of this is financing her drug addiction.
Right. But she also was evil before any substances. Like, substances don't necessarily make you evil. She had this darkness in her.
So she's a murderer.
Like, substances will make you make horrifying decisions and hurt people you love.
Yeah.
But she was doing that on her own.
Yes.
She's an asshole.
Yeah.
So Bo decides to go home to Alaska and stay with his parents and make like real big important changes in his life. This is great for Bo.
Yeah, they had scooted over this early on, but he had said that like when he joined the military, he wasn't really close with his family. But now his family is like stepping in to like take care of him and help him get onto like the next chapter of his life, which I thought was a cool thing to see happen for him.
Yeah.
You know?
And like, this is really good news for Bo. It's devastating for Christian.
It's so sad. He said he felt like he was losing his brother, and he's sad, but he describes his mom as being pissed.
Yeah.
Like, and he says that he saw his mom in the kitchen with those pieces of shit, Sean and Michelle, and the mom was just going crazy over the fact that Bo was leaving. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, and
Why do you care?
Christian was like, I've never seen my mom like that before, and I've seen her in like quite a few states in my life, and like, this is bad.
And we know that there's nothing romantic going on between Bo and Tammy. He wasn't paying rent there. He's not even taking care of your kid anymore. Why do you care so much?
Right. So Bo is packing everything up. Tammy and everyone's there. Tammy, Christian, Michelle, and Sean.
Like, they're doing this big last hurrah where they're gonna like go to dinner, and then they come back to Bo's place to play video games, and then like the next day, Tammy and Christian were gonna drive Bo to the airport. It's like this big, and Bo even refers to it as like getting the family all together like one last time.
Yeah.
Bo is just like, does not see what's going on here.
It's August 3rd, 2009. It's 8 a.m. Christian is excited to see, it's like very bittersweet, but he like gets to see his best friend Bo, and they're gonna have this like big send off. And he's like, even if it's just like driving him to the airport, it's just like spending time with him. Like he just loved Bo so much.
So it's 8 a.m. and Tammy and Christian get to Bo's house, and Christian is knocking on the door and nobody answers.
And by 4 o'clock, they still haven't heard from Bo.
Yeah.
8 a.m. is when they show up. There's no answer at the door.
And Bo's parents were like, they haven't heard from him either. He was supposed to be on a plane hours ago. So his parents call the building manager of Bo's apartment complex, and the manager lets herself into Bo's apartment and instantly walks into like a bloody, bloody crime scene.
Bleeding from a serious head wound. He was transported to the hospital. He suffered multiple fractures and a broken jaw. He had suffered a traumatic brain injury.
Barely conscious. He suffered a major head wound.
Yeah.
And he doesn't remember, but like what he's told happened. He goes, well, apparently I was drinking, I fell over, I cracked my jaw, and I busted my head on something.
Yeah.
No.
He does, like, I mean, when we see these pictures, there's blood everywhere.
Really
there's drag marks, like something really bad happened. But apparently the officer who was called to the scene didn't think there was any foul play, so no police report was ever filed.
So Bo's dad hears about this, and Bo's dad is like, oh, here's something I forgot to tell you about me. A little something about me. I worked in law enforcement for 40 years.
For 40 years.
This is not how this is going to go down.
No, and he's visiting Bo in the hospital when he realizes that nobody thinks this is a crime. So he takes his like vacation camera and goes to Bo's apartment and takes actual crime scene photos with his like fun saver camera.
And like does his own investigation.
Yes.
And if not for him, we would not be here.
We would not be like, they would think that he fell over and hit his head. Like, what?
You fell over, cracked the back of your head, and hit your jaw?
Right.
Weird.
Yeah.
So Bo is back in Alaska with his parents. They are literally nursing him back to health. Bo says that he describes himself as a functional zombie. Like he was in really, really bad shape.
He says his family didn't have any expectation that he would ever regain cognition. Like that doesn't happen from a fall, you know?
No. And how many times is this guy going to fall down drunk and not have any idea what happened before we start trying to put some pieces together?
Yeah. So Christian says after Bo got hurt, suddenly Christian starts seeing a baseball bat all over his house that wasn't there before.
And Bo's things.
Yes.
Like Bo's video games and like Bo's belongings are now suddenly in their house.
Right.
Which means that someone went into Beau's house and took those
them.
things. So September 2009, it's 2 months after the attack on Beau. And the cops are looking at Tammy for the fraud stuff. They're not looking at her for any violence against Beau or anything that happened to Rich for that matter. So the cops say that Tammy has over 50 fraud victims.
As we're investigating, we found out that Tammy had access to very sensitive credit information on people. With that access, she would apply for credit cards in their names, but having it mailed to her.
All of the people she's doing this to live in her apartment complex.
Right.
Like, what an idiot.
And Christian, looking back, is like, the signs were obvious.
Yeah.
It's like, Tammy would be wearing a wig and then being like, look at this ID. Does this wig make me look like this person in this ID?
Do I look just like this person in this ID?
That I'm holding that is not my name?
Right.
Like, I'm so not this person, but could I pull off that I'm this person?
Right.
And Sean and Michelle, these like horrifying people, were, quote, recruited by Tammy.
Yeah.
This is like part of how we learn her manipulation because she preyed on vulnerable people. Sean I'm not letting Sean off the hook for being abusive.
Horrible person.
But these people like didn't have anywhere to live and they were like struggling with addiction or an inactive addiction. And so like they had no money and no place to go. And so Tammy's like, I'll give you money and a place to go and the drugs.
You can have my kids' room. All you gotta do is cash these bad checks for me.
And again, I am not letting Sean off the hook for being a violent, abusive nightmare to Christian.
No. But like, so remember, Officer Flynn is onto her. He's been tailing her. He's been studying her for 5 years. Suddenly, Tammy just like she comes to understand that she's about to be arrested. And she calls Joyce, Rich's mom, Christian's grandmother, and she's like, girl, I'm about to be arrested. They think I did a whole bunch of things I didn't do. And Joyce is like, I don't know what end is up with this woman.
And she's like I'm not gonna tell you what they're accusing me of, but I totally didn't do the thing they're accusing me of. But I just want you to know that I'm spiraling.
Bye. November 18th, 2009, 4 months after the attack, Tammy is arrested and charged with check fraud, credit card fraud, and charges related to identity theft. And Joyce says once Tammy was arrested, she was able to get custody of Christian. Thank God.
And power of attorney over Tammy. So Joyce has full control over the condo. She has control of everything
Which
now.
is, like, Tammy has to give her that. I don't know why Tammy would do that, knowing all the incriminating evidence that was in the condo.
I don't know.
It's so weird. But Joyce goes and spends 2 days cleaning Tammy's apartment and finds all this crazy shit.
Cleaning, meaning she's digging.
She's totally digging.
She's totally digging for information, and she finds a lot of stuff.
What I found was a life insurance policy that she had taken out on Bowden. I also found receipts of the credit card charges that she was paying for this policy. And when I looked at the policy itself, she had indicated that Bowden was her significant other.
It says that Beau was her significant other, which means she'd get more money. And which is why everyone was telling us there was nothing romantic going on between them.
And Joyce brings this to Detective Flynn immediately. And Flynn is like, I called the insurance company. They immediately gave me the policy. We found out that Tammy had taken out a policy online for $150,000 with Tammy. This is on Beau. With Tammy as the 100% beneficiary. And Beau didn't have to sign anything. This is the thing about, like, how do they do this? How are you taking out a life insurance policy on somebody without them knowing? It's all done online. It was all electronic signatures, and she had all of his paperwork.
She had everything she could prove to say, like, is this you? Send a picture of your social security card or whatever you need. She had it all.
She had it all. Like, insurance companies, hear me when I say you should not be able to do this.
Yeah.
I'm saving you money because the only reason somebody would want to do this would be fraudulently.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. And, like, Tammy was actively trying to kill Beau.
For years.
In order to get the $150,000 life insurance. So Joyce, Rich's mom, is calling around. She has dinner with Tammy's brother.
Yeah.
It is fucking insane.
This is wild.
There's a recording from Tammy's own mother talking to Tammy's boyfriend. Tammy's mom says, these are Tammy's mom's words.
And you hear the recording.
After Rich died, there was a black guy living in Tammy's house.
Yes.
And Tammy's mother says that Tammy wanted her own brother to go out there and kill Beau.
Yes.
For the insurance money. Her own mother says the following words about her.
Yep.
Tammy's mother says,
she wanted my son to come out there and kill this man for her insurance policy.
You're kidding me.
I'm telling you, Tammy is capable of things that you would never dream of. Cross her and you cross the devil.
Cross her and you cross evil. This is her mother.
Now, my question here is, Why does nobody go to the cops? Tammy actively recruited her brother to kill a guy. So she's going to do it. The mother is saying if Tammy sets her mind to it, she's going to get it done. Why is nobody anonymously calling the police?
Yeah, because what happens is Tammy's brother's name is Philip. He sings like a canary.
Yeah.
He tells the cops one night, again, Tammy's getting him drunk.
Yeah.
And Tammy tells him everything. I want you to kill Bo for the insurance money. And the plan is that she was going to get Bo hammered, spike his drink with either meth or GHB. And for Phil's help, Tammy would pay him $25,000.
Right.
Phil said no, but yet he did nothing to help Bo. So, like, thanks for nothing, Phil.
I mean, at least go to Bo and be like, girl, you're in danger, girl.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here.
Phil didn't do that.
No. Like, it is unconscionable. This is like the third documentary in a row where people know that there is somebody actively trying to hire somebody to kill somebody and nobody does anything about it.
So when Tammy's brother says no, just like coincidentally, this is when Bo decides to move back to Alaska.
Yes.
And so now Tammy has to act quickly, so she's scrambling.
That's why Tammy was pissed. Remember when Tammy was pissed that Bo was leaving? She was pissed because she'd been paying the premium on this life insurance policy. She can't let that money go to waste.
Right. So she asks mean and violent Sean to beat Bo to death with a baseball bat, and Sean goes, okay.
And so that's what happened to Bo. They had that big night where they went to dinner, they came back and played Xbox at Bo's apartment. The next morning, Tammy and Christian were going to drive Bo to the airport. In the interim, Michelle and Sean showed up at Bo's apartment and beat him almost to death with a bat. And they beat him so badly that he didn't even remember. He maintained some level of consciousness, but did not remember the beating that happened.
And survived, and then fought so hard to heal and recover.
Now, remember, he got beat at about 8 p.m., they say. He was not discovered until 4 o'clock in the afternoon the next day.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, like...
It's a miracle. She couldn't kill him. She tried to kill him like 4 different times.
And then Joyce, Rich's mom, is like, she's learning about all this.
Yeah.
And she's like, I know she killed Rich.
Right.
She's like, I think she did it. I just can't prove it.
Exactly. And I'll never be able to prove it because she had his body cremated.
On purpose.
Exactly. And I just want to point out, Bo says...
I believe Tammy definitely had designs on me. Simply, if for nothing else, the out of the blue phone call before I even got out of the military when I didn't have her phone number. It's like hunting a herd. You pick off one, separate them from the rest of the herd, get a nice clean kill.
I didn't have her number. I never would have reached out to her. We weren't that close.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And like that is, I mean, the long game here is terrifying.
These people are patient.
Yeah.
That's the scariest part
Which is why if you're Christian, I would be terrified.
Yes.
You know?
Well, he explains later.
Yeah.
So, like, years after, we're in April 2014. Bo was attacked in 2009. Rich was killed in 2001. So, like, years after the fact, we're finally at the grand jury. And the grand jury indicts Tammy, Sean, and Michelle first-degree attempted murder of James Bowden.
Yeah, and it's true that they'll never be able to get her for Rich.
And we can all thank Bo's dad for getting them on this.
Yes.
Because he did his own investigation when the other cops weren't going to do anything.
Exactly.
So, on May 13th, 2015, Tammy was found guilty of first-degree attempted murder of James Bowden and conspiracy. Piece of shit Sean pled guilty to first-degree attempted murder of Bo and received a 26-year sentence. Michelle pled guilty to first-degree burglary and received a 15-year sentence. And Tammy is serving a 48 years in prison.
Thank God. And she was never charged with any wrongdoing in relation to the death of her husband, Richard Fritz Jr. Now, Christian says when his mom went to prison, he was relieved. He said it was time for a new chapter, but like he was probably also terrified that he's going to be on her list at some point too.
Well, this ends where we started.
Yeah.
Christian is sitting here talking to the camera and the phone rings and it's his mother. And Christian explains, he goes, look.
I allow her to call me whenever she wants. I talk to her because I want to know what's going on in her life. I want to know what her moves are. I have a son on the way, and she's been very, I want to help you, I want to do this, but she's the most manipulative woman I've ever met. She's not afraid to use you to get what she needs. Outside of phone calls, I don't know if I'd ever let her in my life. Not only for my safety, but my own son's safety.
And then he says, and for the safety of his son. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. So he's just like, I'm doing the enemies, friends close, enemies closer thing. I kind of need to know where she is, but she's not, like, don't get it twisted. She's not a part of my life.
No, but it's definitely like she could have him killed from prison anytime.
And so he has to be nice to her so she doesn't.
Exactly. Like, how, for
crazy.
the rest of his life, like, how exhausting would that be?
It's crazy. And now we get this, like, really beautiful, moving reunion between Christian and Bo.
Yeah, Christian goes to see Bo, and Bo is showing Christian Christian, like old home videos he took of Christian's dad.
It's just so sweet. They love each other so much. Like, even though the story of how we all got here is insane, they do just love each other. And Beau tells us a little bit about his recovery. He had speech therapy, physical therapy. He worked super hard to get here.
Yeah, he used Xbox to challenge his brain in a way that brought him back. Like, his doctor said to him, you gotta challenge your brain or you're never gonna be able to speak again.
Yeah, so like he was in really bad shape August of 2009. By spring of 2010, he's taking college courses. Like, Beau is amazing.
Yes.
And he's like, yeah, and also I'm still in therapy for what happened to me. Like, I'll be in therapy for the rest of my life because of this.
That whole Tammy trying to kill me for money thing, yeah, there's a lot of demons in there that I need to sort out.
Yeah, but the old Beau can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because he's dead. Because he says...
I've mellowed. I've now not as angry. The James that I was no longer exists. That ship sank. And so, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, this is the new model.
This is the new model.
Yeah,
yeah,
Beau.
Oh, fuck you, Tammy.
Oh my God, girl, we did Worst Roommate Ever.
Season 2, Episode 3, Burning Down the House.
Burning Down the House. Fam, I am on tour. As most of you know, my tour is going through August. Come and see me in New York City for my Pride show weekend. It's the same show, it's just happening on Pride weekend. It's Thursday, June 26th, and then I've got shows in Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Provincetown, Charleston, Nashville, Charlotte, Atlanta, which only has like 5 tickets left, Orlando, DC, Philadelphia, and then I'm closing the tour out in London on August 30th.
Fun.
PatrickTours.com, get all the information and tickets.
Yeah, and if you're interested, we're on YouTube.
We are
Just
on
let
YouTube.
you know.
It's so fun. I love our YouTube channel. Are you
fun.
looking at it at all yet?
No, I'm not watching.
I watch it all the time. I kind of love it. You look great on it.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you do.
We all look good. It's fun.
All of us.
All of
us.
All 2 of us.
Yeah.
All right, what do we do next, girl?
Oh my God. The Curious Case of the Doomsday Cat Cult.
What?
I'm just going to read you the little synopsis.
All right, great,
There's no way. I won't be able to find it anyways.
No, yeah.
Cheryl Ruthven's cat-centered cult traps followers in financial ruin, isolation, and bizarre rituals. As homes overflow with cats, her demands escalate, allegedly to murder, binding followers in a dark web of fanaticism and shattered lives. Everyone has at minimum 60 cats.
How is this not a 12-part series?
It's a 90-minute documentary.
Oh my
and
God.
It apparently still exists. I've gone down such a rabbit hole with this. It is crazy.
All right, fam, stay tuned for the trailer for that.
It's on HBO Max.
Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's it. We love you.
Yeah, we love you so much. We'll see you next time.
All right, bye.
Bye.